Yeah, it's kind of funny because I always had that ability myself long before I ever had any interest in this kind of work at all. And in fact, it was always like, if I have a particular feeling in my body that tells me whether or not, I would use it as to whether I trusted people. When I was 19 and I was traveling around in Europe, I would just be like, okay, I'm getting myself out of the situation right now, whether or not I needed a reason to do it. So I think also there was a fair amount of distress and anger and stuff in my house growing up, and so that I kind of did get myself out of nasty situations sometimes that way, but yeah, and I also kind of, I think, always had a pretty strong sensitivity, sort of like a physical empathy towards what was going on with other people, that I would actually get that kind of the kick of actually feeling other people's emotions, which some people do. And I actually don't as much anymore because of some of this training, and it's a lot easier to kind of have more reasonable boundaries. And that's another part of the training with this kind of work, is that how not to take on other people's stuff as your own. Not give them your stuff, but not take on other people's stuff in the same kind of physical way as I used to. But it's also true that when I started the Reiki training, the perceptual ability and my understanding of what was happening in myself just started to take these kind of quantum leaps. Like I remember after my first Reiki training, my sense of smell changed. And, which isn't always a good thing, because I was always sensitive with my sense of smell, but I became way more so. And because of the interest that I had put on knowing it from an animal behavior perspective and knowing all about pheromones and how people communicate that way, I became just really conscious of all of the stuff that people were putting out. And so, yeah, I think just having had the habit of observation, again, sort of my whole life, but also with the scientific training, I did tend to turn it inward. So it's just a kind of a combination of different personality aspects that all came together to make it like a really important thing for me, is my ability to understand myself, and kind of fits in with everything else I do. In some ways I am very introspective, and or one could say self-absorbed, but but yeah, I think I have self-absorption in my shadow a little bit, but no, it's nice because I think you can use that kind of understanding of yourself to get an idea of how complex the self is in other people, and B, to recognize when somebody is really in that place of themselves, because it feels the way that you feel when you're in the place of being yourself.